Hi friends, welcome to episode 101 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadir Tani. I am coming to you today from my home in Central Florida. Today is Thursday, October 17th. It is also nighttime. Why are we recording at nighttime, Kalisha? Well, your girl is sick. And luckily for me, I have been off work for the last 2 days. So yesterday, I slept until like 2:30 in the afternoon, which I do love sleeping, but I rarely ever sleep that long. If left to my own devices, I will just wake up like my regular like eye popping open time to wake up time is like 10:30, 11. So sleeping until 2:30 is unheard of. So I was pretty much in bed all day yesterday, feeling sad and sick, sad and sick. And then today, I did not sleep until 2:30, but still not feeling 100%, still stuffy, my head hurts, just, I am drinking all of the water and emergency. I'm drinking orange juice. I am taking my golden seal echinacea like a good little herby. My mother would be happy. I had a cup of echinacea, cranberry echinacea tea, or was it cranberry golden seal? Cranberry echinacea tea. Really good. Typically, echinacea tea tastes like dirt grass water. This tea, I would drink that. I would drink that on a regular basis, which I probably should. Since we're going into holiday season at the studio, I should probably allow my immune system to get a jump start, because I wasn't even like or I'm not even that sick. I'm just a really pitiful sick person. But every year in the Portrait Studio, I get good and sick, like no voice, can't breathe out of anything. Everything is just clogged up, gross, sick. And it's because children sneeze in your face all the time. So that is why it is nighttime and I'm just now filming this. So if there's like little to no editing, that's why. Probably because after I finish filming this, I'm going to get back in the bed because my whole head is hurting. Like just, there's a lot of pressure inside my head right now. I should have made myself a cup of tea. Let's get to getting with all this crafting. So, admin. I have released a sock pattern. Yay! If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen basically me posting to keep myself accountable about this particular sock pattern. And the one I'm talking about is not either one of the sock patterns I've been working on over the last couple episodes. It's actually an oldie but a goodie. This right here over my shoulder, these are the El Tannen socks. And I have just released the pattern for them. So this is a relatively simple pattern. It uses double moss stitch here and then just a column of twisted stitches. So it's very, very beginner friendly. In the pattern, it's written for a short row wrap and turn heel. But you can switch that heel out for whichever one suits your fancy. Yes, so I wrote this pattern, had it tested, essentially ready to go from like last November. And here we are halfway through October. So this has basically been ready for you guys for about a year. And so I decided that today was the day I was going to do it. I was going to kick myself in the butt and release a pattern. So El Tannen is now live on Ravelry. I am super proud of myself. I'm very excited about it. Here's a close up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get in there. Get in there. Love that texture. Look at that little toe. Yeah, buddy. So if that simple kind of texture sock is up your alley, something that you dig, go check it out. There is a link to my Ravelry store in the down bar. Yeah. So that's the only thing that I have for admin. I'm really excited about it. To be honest, that's the whole reason that I'm filming today. Because I wanted to tell you guys about it just in case you didn't see it on Instagram or anything. Yeah. So let's go into the crafty content. I have no finished objects. At least I don't think I do. I didn't when I wrote these notes. I do have a finished object. See what happens when you write your notes 2 days prior and then you do stuff and then you film? So let me grab it. My 10 rows are done. Yay! So this is the traveling corner to corner blanket, corner to corner crochet blanket. I have had to stop working on this for, it's probably been about 2 weeks now that I have not been crocheting on this, in addition to not crocheting at all, because it was causing me a lot of pain in my elbow. So last night I decided to pick it up and see if I could crochet on it without aggravating the situation. And luckily, like most joyfully, I had no pain. So I just crocheted along and I finished crocheting the row that I was on. So I finished crocheting row 9 and then I started crocheting row 10 and something was like, Kalisha, don't get overzealous. Just, you did a good chunk, put it down, work on it again tomorrow. So that's what I did. And here is all of my section. So this is my first row here, and then I went all the way up here, and yeah, it used out all of this yarn and all of this one, and then I had like a couple yards left of this one, which I added to my giant ball of ends, which I have been adding to this ball for years. I have no idea what's in the middle of this. But anyway, so my section is done. I am going to be, I think I have to take a picture of it to post on their Facebook group, and then I'm sending it off. The next person who's supposed to get this is Laurel of the Dabbling Hook. So I will be folding this up and resealing it back into this handy dandy plastic bag and sending it off to its next destination. But I'm so glad to be done with it, and I'm glad that I was able to finish my rows. A lot of people were saying in the last episode where I talked about it, a lot of people were saying that, you know, surely like 8.5 super long rows are equivalent to 10 to 12 shorter rows, and I should just go ahead and send it on to the next person. But I have this thing about quitting. I just really, I hate quitting. So I gave my arm a break, and I also got one of these. I don't know how much this works. Maybe it's just in my head, but I got one of these like sleeves that the athletes wear. So I got one of these, and I have been wearing it. I was wearing it when I was crocheting. I'm also wearing it at work in the studio because I support the camera with this hand. And when my elbow was hurting a lot from the crocheting, I noticed the next day that I worked in the studio that the weight of the camera was also aggravating my elbow. So started wearing this. I dug out another elbow brace that I have to also wear because you have to take care of your joints, people. You got to take care of the joints. So that's my finished object. I'm super excited that it's done. So that's just like one less thing for me to be thinking about, or to be like looming over my head. So, huzzah. Okay. Works in progress. So I have 3 works in progress, she says as she looks around, making sure that she's not telling fibs. Yes, 3 works in progress. So the first 2 are my camp socks. The second sock of each design. So this is Camp Hawthorne, and this is Camp Kalakwa. And I have been working them, a couple repeats on here, a couple repeats on here, so they're basically at the same point. And just like working them concurrently like that. I have also taken the first sock and ripped out the toes because this is how they look finished. Well, that's how they look finished. Neither one of them have toes. But originally I knit these to fit my mannequin feet, which are about 2 inches or so shorter than my actual foot. So I ripped out the toes and put in the needles so that I can knit these to the right length. So I guess I have 4 pair of socks on the go because I'm crazy. But yeah, so I guess I can just stick all of these in the same bag. This just looks like a poor choice, right? Somebody's getting snatched off the needles today. Let's let it not be you. How about that? Okay. Yes, just get in there. Just get in there. And then these are the leftover yarns from the first socks, which we're going to drop in this bag too. And they are living in the very first bag that I ever embroidered in my library, at my library. So my next work in progress is my Milu shawl, which I took off the needles because not for a bad reason, but I wanted to see how big it was. So I am knitting Milu, which is a pattern by Tamy Gore, and the pattern originally calls for a DK weight yarn. I am knitting mine out of Barocco Remix Light, which is classed as like a number 3, which is about a DK. However, based on the like yards per gram, it's about like a fingering-ish, but when you look at it, it's thicker than a fingering. So it's kind of like choose your own adventure. So I knew that even though I got gauge in my knitting of the shawl, it was going to be different size-wise. I didn't feel like figuring out enough of the math to figure out if it was going to be bigger or smaller, which is why it's not on the needles right now. So these, I guess I should show you just in case you haven't seen. These are the colors that I'm using. This is Mist, Ocean, and Buttercup. So Mist and Ocean are currently still attached to the shawl. And this is my Milu. Oh, hold on, y'all. Oh my gosh. Ta-da! And as you can see, it's not little. So when you guys saw it last time, I was here right at the beginning of the color work. What do I want to say about the color work? There's one of my mistakes when I counted wrong but didn't feel like fixing it. So through here, you're catching floats a whole lot. And then you incorporate this second column. So you're catching floats less often. But once I figured out how to catch the floats and purl the color work, which I showed like a very poorly lit video clip during last week, of how I worked through the mechanics of catching floats on the purl side while holding both yarns in your left hand continental. Once I did that, my tension evened out. Like, you can really see it right here. So you see how this is like scrunched up this way, and then here it lays flat. This, yeah. I was doing all kinds of figuring up here, trying to get stuff together. But then by the time I got here, I was like, okay, I had gotten into a groove with purling the color work. So everything is to pattern stitch-wise up to this point. I mixed up my colors, but that's fine. But when I got here, I was supposed to go into this. But then I thought, maybe I should add in some because I don't think it's going to be big enough. So I added in another section of eyelets before going to the next segment or the next section in the pattern. So then I did this to here is this section here between my fingers is to pattern. And then I was like, okay, well, I still want to add some more because I still have a lot of yarn that I'm working with. So this was to pattern. So I just repeated that with different colors. And now I'm going to go to the border, and I think it's a garter border. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But I think it's a garter border that's supposed to be all in buttercup. But I think what I'm going to do, or what I'm playing around with, is doing garter border stripes in all three of my colors. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about doing a stripe of mist and then a stripe of ocean and then a bigger stripe of buttercup. Or maybe I'll just do this, because if I do it like this, then it will mirror this. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it this way. So when I put this back on the needles, I'm going to do a stripe of ocean and then the stripes, or the stripe of buttercup, and do the bind off. The pattern also suggests that you create tassels, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I will not have enough yarn for tassels, because I really want to use out as much of this yarn as possible. So yeah, that is my Milu, and I really enjoyed, I am really enjoying the pattern. So where's my bag? Shove this back in the bag so it doesn't get pulled off of its waste yarn, because that would be so sad. So sad. Okay, so that is everything for works in progress. I don't have anything on maker plans for real. I wrote down make 9 outlook, because at this point, once I finish Milu, I'll have 2 patterns left on my make 9 to finish the make 9. I would have the Tillingbourne beanie, or no, Tillingbourne beret by Jimenez, and the Spiney socks by Fatimah Hinds. And I'm going to try to get those started. I had pulled out yarns for these at the beginning of the year, but things change. And I don't think I want to use those yarns anymore. So we'll figure it out. But I'm trying not to like put too much pressure on myself as far as like finishing the make 9 within the year. I think if I get everything cast on and actually worked like in progress by the end of the year, I'll be fine. You know, just like within myself. But I'm not going to like run myself ragged to get these particular items finished by the end of the year. Okay, so stash positions is up next. And I have a couple stash positions. Let me show you one that was gifted to me. And that is right here behind me. Nina of the This Old Knit podcast actually sent this to me. It's flopping all over everywhere. This is fiber from Kim Dye's Yarn, and it is, Poleward Silk, Sari Silk Sliver, or is that Sliver? Sliver. Is it Sliver or Sliver? And Angelina, and this is 1.8 ounces. And she messaged me to see if I wanted it, because it is my oceany, watery favorite color. And she said she didn't see herself getting to spin it anytime soon. So thank you. And it is so soft. Like, I have some Poleward silk that I got a sample of Poleward silk, and I haven't pulled it out yet because I think it's a 1 ounce sample, and I was like, all I have is this 1 ounce. Oh, I don't want to ruin it. So it's in the drawer with the rest of the fiber. So yeah, this is gonna be fun to play with. And like, look at those colors. The colors, dude, the colors. This is so fun. Like, that's the only thing I can think of to like describe the pops of color and the glitter from the Angelina. It's just fun. So she also sent me this stitch marker that's an origami star. And I thought was really cool about this. There. So there is the star. Oh, look at my nail polish. What have I been chewing on? But the cool thing about this is that it matches these. And like, even with the colors, like the color of the paper that was chosen, it goes with these very well. And I got these from Fiber Artworks, which is one of the local, it may be the local yarn shop in Huntsville, Alabama. And this was my favorite yarn shop when I was there. She was like the gateway into local yarn shops for me. But come to think of it, her name is Nina too. So Look at that. But yeah, so now I have 6 of these, which I think is a much more usable number than 5. So thank you so much, Nina. And I'm going to put these over here. Okay, so the next stash position that I have is some fabric. And this is one of those things that I bought because it was so amazing. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. None at all. So I follow Nerdbirdmakery on Instagram. And if you are one of her followers as well, you would have seen that she has been posting these images, like these people doing the different fiber arts, right? And I feel like I was just talking with my hands a whole lot, but this is how excited I am about this fabric. So first I'm going to show you the sticker that she included, and she's at Rhinebeck right now, and she was showing her setup, I think for Indie Untangled, and she showed all the stickers that she has, and I was just like, I want the stickers. But in particular, I wanted the knitter sticker because this is the knitter. Now, there are a couple things I would like to point out about this knitter. Aside from the strong side eye that she's giving it, I can only imagine that this is the look for when somebody says something sideways about Black people knitting. You get that look. That's it right there. Like, really? But anyway, she's so sassy, and she's got, I'm assuming these are braids, but you can't really tell, so they could be locks. So we have this in common. And if you look very closely, she is a continental knitter. When I saw this image online, I was like, oh my gosh, I need that on something. I need it. So when Tao put this in with my fabric, I squealed. I did. And there's nothing I can put this sticker on. Like, there's nothing. I cannot put this sticker on any of my notebooks because eventually I will finish writing in that notebook and no longer need to carry that notebook around. Like, this sticker needs to be on something that's with me all the time. Like, I need to stick it to my phone. But then I would mess around and get a new phone, and then what am I going to do? Then what am I going to do? So we're just going to let her hang out back here. But let me go ahead and show you the fabric that I got. I got a yard of Tao's fabric. I don't even know if she has a specific name for this fabric, but baby. At first I was like, oh, maybe I can make project bags out of this for my shop. No, this is not going into the shop. Apologies for any hearts that were just broken, but this is not going into the shop. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Just take that in. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love these images. I love it. So dope. So like I said, I got 1 yard of this glorious fabric. Maybe I'll make a skirt. I can't make a skirt out of 1 yard. Like, I don't know, guys. I would have loved to get more, but you know, the way my bank account is set up, 1 yard was about all she wrote. It's so cool. It is just so cool. And I know that Tal said that if for some reason you're not following her on Instagram, you really should. But like I said, she's at Indie Untangled, and she has project bags that are made out of this. I think she said she has like 25 or some very small number. And she said if by some stroke of something she has any left over, then she'll put them in the shop after she gets back from Rhinebeck. But I don't see these lasting at all. But she has such an awesome style. And I love seeing the different images that she comes out with. All of her imagery is so inclusive. She was, I have a lot of her, I have a lot of her work. I think I have 2 of her pens. I have a Bliss tote bag from her, which it's kind of in reach, so I'll grab it just in case you haven't seen it before. This is her Bliss tote bag. What is in here? Shampoo. Yes. So I also have this girl as a pen, and I think I have it as I bought the greeting cards with this image on it. Just like whenever I see an image that I really identify with, like I tend to want it on everything that it is on. So that being said, if Tao ever puts this girl on a pin, I will be adding that to my collection. So yeah, let me calm down. I feel all hot now. That lemonade was not good. Okay. All right. So now that I have taken a breath, I want to show you my last stash acquisition, which you got a glimpse of when I was showing my Milu shawl. But here she is. Oh, turn around for the camera, sweet pea. Isn't she cute? And she has rainbow hair. And this is a progress keeper that I got from Whitney Marie Anderson. Yes, Whitney Marie Anderson. She's on Instagram and also has a website. And I have another one of her girls here. This is the first girl that I got from her. And I love her because she looks like me. If I could get her to face the camera. There we go. So yes. So now I have 2 girlfriends. Okay. And neither one of them wants to face the camera. There we go. So we've got 2 girls on here. One with Rasta locks and the other with rainbow locks. And I saw today on Instagram that Whitney had posted that she has, I think, 3 girls left in her shop right now. Coincidentally, they each have, their hair is, one of them has, I think it's orange, purple, and green. Because when I looked at them, because she was holding them all together, when I looked at them, I said, oh wow, that's very Halloween. So if you're a Halloween lover, go snap them all up and you can have like a Halloween tribe. That is everything for stash acquisitions. Yes. The next section that we have is Kalisha and the Babe, which is my spinning section. I don't have any active spinning to show you, but what I do have is some more fiber. This is some fiber that I blended myself. And I'm gonna open it up a little bit so that you can see it. It's just expanding right out of the bag. It's just a ball of sunshine. I love it. So this is 2 ounces of fiber. It's a 1/2 ounce of white cheviot, a 1/2 ounce of yellow merino, and then 1/2 ounces each of buttercup Cordial and mustard Cordial. So the white cheviot is from this giant bag. This was one of the bags that that Lori sent me with the blending board. I had never touched cheviot before, and it's really soft. It's very different than the other fibers that I have worked with, which again is just mind-blowing for me. For every time I touch a different breed of like sheep fiber, it feels so different, which is really, really cool. There you go. So that is the yellow merino, the buttercup Cordial, and the mustard Cordial, and then the white cheviot. And I blended them on the blending board, and it was a lot of fun. And I came up with this goodie. And I didn't blend them across the whole blending board. Somebody's coming home. I didn't blend them across the whole blending board. I only used about half of the blending board to just work that way. And then I pulled them off and then ripped that bit in half and then layered that on top of itself. So I ended up with 6 kind of chunks of fiber that I layered on top of each other, and then I kind of sandwiched them like this and just rolled them all up together. I don't know if I will spin it as if I'm spinning from a bat or if I will strip each one down. I'll probably end up stripping each one down because I think that will be easier. But you guys will see when this gets on the wheel. But it was just really relaxing and therapeutic to actually sit and blend the fibers together. I really did enjoy that. So that's all I have for Kalisha and the Babe. That's really all I have for the crafty bits. So we'll go on to life and whatnot. So life and whatnot. I apologize for the dogs barking. I could tell them to be quiet, but they will not listen to me if they think there's somebody outside. They're just trying to keep me safe, y'all. They're just trying to keep me safe. Life and whatnot. Kiva, can you be quiet, please? Please? Thank you. She's barking under her breath right now. She's so sassy. Okay. This weekend, quite a few people in our fiber community will be venturing out to Rhinebeck. I will not be venturing out to Rhinebeck. I will be at Camp Kalakwa. Fun. My church is having, it's kind of like a family church retreat kind of thing for the weekend. And so we're going to Camp Kalakwa. We'll be camping out there. Well, not like camping, like not tents and campfires, but glamping, I guess is what you could call it, because they have these like little chalets, and that's where we're staying. So it's kind of like little trailers almost, and they have different activities that we're going to be doing, and yeah, so we're going to be going up Lamar and I are leaving tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be there all the way through Sunday. And I'm really excited about it. I love being out there, especially since this weekend is, I think this weekend is the peak of the Orionid meteor shower. I will double check the dates, but I plan to be laying out in the middle of a field watching the meteor shower. I've told all of my church friends that this is where I will be. You are welcome to join me if you so desire. But if you're wondering where Kalisha is going to be at like 1 in the morning, check your nearest field. I'm so excited. And so, of course, I'm going to be bringing my camp socks with me to knit on those. And yeah, I might even do some vlogging whilst I'm there, so you guys can kind of see Camp Kalakwa and see like what I name my Kalakwa socks after. But I'm really excited about it. So those of you who are not going to Rhinebeck or are not going to, well, Rhinebeck in New York or Rhinebeck West in California. If you're not going to either of the Rhinebecks, what are you doing this weekend? Let me know down below. So another thing that I wanted to mention was a couple days ago, well, it's probably been it's a week now because today's the 17th. So October 10th is World Mental Health Day, and I reposted a picture and a video that I did last year of a stack of golf balls. And I know that sounds weird, but last year my dad was in town for some golf something, and I went to hang out with him, and there was like this driving range area, and the people had stacked the golf balls up in little pyramids by each area where you could go and just hit the balls. And when I looked at it, it looks like surely if you pick any ball out of this pyramid, the whole thing will fall down. But I said that to my dad, and he was like, you should go do it. Absolutely not, Dad. You're not going to have them run me out of here. I'm not even a golfer. They will know that I'm not one of them. And so then he goes up and he pulled the golf ball out and nothing happened. So then he puts it back and he pulled a different golf ball and nothing happened. And then he put that one back, and then he pulled, I think, 3 golf balls out and nothing happened. So just that image kind of got me to thinking of like seeing myself as a stack of golf balls, right? And anything that happens to me, or any problem I face, or struggle that comes to me, or bad day that I have, or anything like that, anything that affects or like takes from me is like somebody taking a golf ball out of that stack. But instead of expecting myself as that stack of golf balls to crumble, I should acknowledge the fact that this crappy thing happened, but it doesn't make me crumble. But it in itself cannot make me crumble. So I really liked that illustration. So I reposted it again this year. And I'll try to put it in here. I'll try to put it in here for you guys so you can see it as well. But yeah, I hope that each one of us can learn to see ourselves as that stack of golf balls that's not going to get knocked down whenever one bad thing happens, or a handful of bad things happen. We're not going to crumble. So, I did make a note here that shortly after World Mental Health Day, my personal mental health kind of tanked. And I talked about it a little bit on Instagram, just like feeling down and everything like that. And, but it goes along the same lines. Like, I can have a bad few days, and I just need to remind myself that it's okay to have a bad few days. It's perfectly normal and fine to have a bad few days. I just need to remember that having those bad few days is not going to floor me. It may feel like garbage. I may feel like trash juice. But at the end of the day, it'll be okay. Anything that swings down will swing back up. Like, these are the things that I have to tell myself all the time. And when I was in the midst of my little downswing a couple days ago, I just had to keep telling myself, like, you know what? We're going to get through this. We feel like trash now. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is going to swing. It's going to swing back. It's going to swing back somewhere. It's going to swing somewhere. But yeah. So that is everything I have for you guys today. I am going to go make myself a cup of tea and find a new box of Kleenex because I don't have any. I have no Kleenex. And I do not okay. So I'm the kind of sick kid that I blow my nose. Like, I get the runny nose. Like, that's Kalisha's sick. She's got a runny nose. That's what's happening. So we don't really buy boxes of Kleenex, for real. So I'll be walking around with a roll of toilet paper. I'm that person. And I will take the roll of toilet paper out the bathroom. And Lamar hates it. He'll come home and he'll look in the bathroom and I'll be like curled up in the bed like and he's like, you took the toilet paper out the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm sick. So I have been trying my best to remember to buy Kleenex when I go to the store so that I can not take the toilet paper out the bathroom. But in moments like this, what is a girl to do? I should take the roll of toilet paper out the bathroom and put it in the Kleenex box and just pull it out through here. And then maybe I can pretend like I did not take the roll of toilet paper from the bathroom. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye, friends.